Hey guys, you're watching RadioU TV. I am Jared. This is Heath McNease. Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made.
It is not quite a full-length film, but not quite like a short film. What is it?
It's called featurette. It's called a featurette length.
Featurette.
A featurette is when it's lands like over 30 minutes, but under an hour and a half. So it's like a 45-minute film.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And what made you decide you wanted to do a film?
Man, because I got my degree in acting. So acting is what in theater, that's what my degree was. So the last few years, when I was being offered a record deal while I was in college, I was like, well, I could be a broke auditioning actor in LA or Chicago or New York that nobody knows, and then you have to be something. Like you have to, in New York, you have to be able to like dance and do all sorts of stuff. In Los Angeles, you need to look like a supermodel. In Chicago, you need to like deal with really cold weather, and then also nobody knows you. So
right.
My thought was, well, I could probably use being an artist signed to a label and parlay that later, get some cachet developed, and then I can probably just sort of be a fully contained unit and make.
Right.
So then I'm not auditioning for parts, I'm just creating parts for myself and for my friends and stuff like that. So I was able to write it, direct it, produce it, do the soundtrack, get friends and people that I trusted, to be in the film. Plato's in the film, he's hilarious.
Plato says it's fantastic. He was going on and on and on about it. Loves it, dude.
It's, dude, it's got some really funny parts, actually. A lot of it is based on, it's all based on stuff that really happened to me. Like, I'm playing, basically how I view myself. I'm not playing myself, I'm playing how I view myself.
Okay.
At my worst moments, when people don't really, so everybody in Fort Wayne, and the reason we chose Fort Wayne is because that's the town that I've played in the most.
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Plato, refers to me as being Fort Wayne famous because you're just not quite real famous, but you're like Fort Wayne famous, you're indie famous. And so I took all these experiences that had happened to me on the road all over the place and sort of changed the stories a little bit to protect those guilty.
I'm gonna need to ask you, do you smoke?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Listen, like, if you smoke in the room, I'm gonna lose my job.
I don't smoke. I have asthma. I asked for a non-smoking room.
Oh, you're asthmatic?
Yeah.
So do you have an inhaler and pulmonary medication of some kind in your bag you could pull out?
Are you serious?
It's policy.
There's an inhaler right there.
Could you puff on it?
And some characters were sort of aggregates of a lot of different characters. And so, man, you just put it in the context of just one city. And we filmed it in January, so it was just freezing cold and it was really bleak. And now fall's coming around the corner. So I think it was the perfect time to kind of release it. So
I've heard a lot of really good things about it. You did the crowdfunding route. That went pretty well for you.
And I was nervous, man. I've never done that for a record before, and I never wanted to because I never wanted to feel like I was holding fans hostage. Like, if you don't pay me money, you won't hear this record ever. I would rather just give it away and let it, do what it does. But with this, it was just too expensive to do that. So, but I also did a soundtrack. The soundtrack has 17 tracks of just full songs and a film, and it'll all be free on Saturday, September 27th.
All right. So, man, I am excited. I'm going to check out not only the soundtrack but the film as well. I haven't seen any of it or heard any of it. So
watch the film, guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be able to do this kind of for a career. Music is not going to happen forever. My interest is waning.
You can only be Fort Wayne famous for so long.
I can only I can only rap about people's moms for so long before my heart's not in it anymore.
Yeah.
I've been doing that since I was like 4 years old, and honestly, what more can I say about your mom that I haven't said already? So at some point in like 15 years, I'm probably going to want to shut that part down and then just be the freaking Steven Spielberg of the Christian perspective generation.
Heath, I love you, man. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Man, I love you, bro. Can we do this without our mics scrubbing together?
So good.
See, you smell good too, man.
Thanks.
Freaking give yourself some love.
Never ended an interview with a hug, so.
What?
First time
All
for
these
everything.
Christian bands profess to love the Lord and they can't reproach you in spirit and truth? That's whack. That sucks.
Heath McNease.
Don't listen to those guys. Listen to me.
Bounce house is another bounce house.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So rich.
You've never ended an interview in a hug before?
Never.